Two teenage girls went to see Elvis Presley's new movie and vanished into thin air. 27 days later, they were found on a lonely road. But here's what makes this case truly baffling. December 28, 1956. Chicago is blanketed in snow and Christmas lights still twinkle in windows across the city. 15-year-old Barbara Grimes and her 13-year-old sister Patricia are obsessed with one thing: Elvis Presley. The girls had already seen Love Me Tender 11 times. Yes, 11 times. Tonight would be their 12th viewing at the Brighton Theater, just a few miles from their Southwest Side home. Their mother, Loretta Grimes, a widow raising 5 children alone, gave them permission. It was the holidays after all. The girls promised they'd be home by midnight. They grabbed their coats, giggled about Elvis, and walked out into the cold December night. The movie let out around 11 p.m. Several witnesses saw the sisters at a nearby restaurant counter, sipping cokes and chatting. They seemed happy, excited, normal teenage girls on a winter night out. But Barbara and Patricia Grimes never made it home that night. When their mother woke up the next morning and found their beds empty, she knew immediately something was terribly wrong. Loretta called the police, but in 1956, teenagers running away wasn't uncommon. The police initially didn't take it too seriously. But Loretta knew her daughters. They wouldn't run away. They had no reason to. Elvis Presley himself heard about the missing girls and made a public plea. "If you are good Presley fans, you'll go home and ease your mother's worries." The statement made national headlines. Days turned into weeks. Chicago police received over 300 reported sightings. The girls were supposedly seen everywhere, at train stations, restaurants, hotels. None of the leads panned out. Psychics came forward. A hypnotist tried to help. The FBI got involved. Reward money climbed into the thousands. But Barbara and Patricia remained missing. The city was gripped with fear. If 2 girls could vanish after a movie, what did that mean for everyone else's children? Parents held their kids closer. The Christmas joy had turned into a nightmare. Then, on January 22, 1957, nearly a month after the girls disappeared, a man driving down German Church Road in Willow Springs spotted something unusual on the side of the icy road. He pulled over. What he found would haunt Chicago for decades. 2 individuals lying face up in a drainage ditch. It was Barbara and Patricia Grimes. They had passed away. But the discovery wasn't the end of the mystery. It was just the beginning. Because what happened next would make this case one of the most baffling in American history. The Grimes sisters were found after 27 days missing. But when investigators examined them, nothing made sense. The evidence was impossible. The girls were found in minimal clothing. Their outer garments were never recovered. They'd been exposed to brutal Chicago winter temperatures for weeks, yet the findings told a story that didn't add up. The initial examination by the Cook County coroner determined the cause as exposure to cold and shock. But here's what was strange. The pathologist said the girls had only passed within about 48 to 72 hours. Wait, what? They'd been missing for 27 days, but only gone for 3 days maximum? That meant someone had kept them somewhere for nearly 4 weeks before leaving them there. The area where they were found had been searched multiple times during the initial investigation. Officers swore they weren't there before. Someone had placed them there recently. But then things got even stranger. Other medical experts disagreed with the findings. Some believed the girls had passed much earlier and showed signs of being frozen and thawed multiple times. There were reports of possible harm, though the condition made it difficult to determine conclusively. Some pathologists noted injuries. Others saw nothing definitive. The medical examiner who conducted the examination later changed his opinion multiple times, adding to the confusion. Did this happen the night they disappeared, or had they been held somewhere for weeks? Toxicology reports were inconclusive. There were no obvious signs of wounds from weapons. No broken bones. No clear cause beyond exposure. But how does that happen when someone's keeping you somewhere? The investigation exploded in multiple directions. Police chased down hundreds of leads. Men were questioned. Suspects emerged. But every lead seemed to evaporate like morning fog. One witness claimed to have seen the girls getting into a black car with 2 men the night they vanished. Others reported seeing them at various locations around Chicago in the days after their disappearance. A drifter was spotted near the location. He was questioned extensively but released. A restaurant owner claimed the girls had been in his establishment days after they went missing. Nothing could be confirmed. Then came the confessions. Because in every high-profile case, people confess. And the Grimes case was no exception. The confessions would take this mystery to an even darker place. What happened next involved false confessions, a convicted individual, and a teenage suspect who knew details about the case that were never made public. And the truth? It might be more disturbing than anyone imagined. Multiple people confessed to the Grimes case. One of them was a teenager who knew details only the responsible party would know. But investigators let him go. The first major suspect was Edward Lee Benny Bedwell, a 21-year-old drifter who was arrested just days after the discovery. Under intense interrogation, Bedwell confessed. Bedwell claimed he and his friend Frank had picked up the Grimes sisters, driven them around, and things had gotten out of hand. He described where they'd left them. He provided details. Seemed like a slam dunk. There was just one problem. Bedwell's confession didn't match the physical evidence. Dates were wrong. Locations didn't check out. And crucially, Bedwell took back his confession, claiming police had pressured him. After 72 hours of interrogation, sleep deprivation, and psychological pressure, most people will confess to anything. The confession fell apart. Bedwell was released and the case went cold again. But then came the confession that really puzzled investigators. A teenager named Max Flagg walked into a police station and confessed to involvement in the case. Flagg was only 17 years old, but he provided specific details about the scene, the girls, and circumstances that hadn't been released to the public. Details only someone involved would know. He described picking them up, what they were wearing, where they went. His story was coherent and detailed. Unlike Bedwell's rambling confession, this one had the ring of truth. Police interrogated Flagg for hours. He never wavered from his story. He seemed genuinely remorseful. Investigators believed they finally had answers. A grand jury was convened. But Max Flagg's parents hired an attorney who demanded the confession be thrown out. Flagg had been questioned without his parents or a lawyer present. He was a minor. The confession, the attorney argued, was inadmissible. More importantly, Flagg's alibi checked out. On the night of December 28th, when the girls disappeared, multiple witnesses placed him somewhere else. His confession, despite its eerie accuracy, couldn't be true. So how did a teenage boy know unpublished details? Had he heard them from someone actually involved? Was he covering for someone? Or had police inadvertently leaked information during his interrogation? Years later, another suspect would emerge.